Hi there, everyone. Mark Plunkett, the pastor of Heritage Presbyterian Church, with another of our 2-minute Bible lessons. This one is for all you numerologists out there, people that just love numbers. Now, the book of Revelation is just full of numbers. But that's not what I'm talking about today. Not going to talk about all those crazy numbers, but check this out. Have you ever noticed how often the number 400 comes up in the Bible? Now, it may not be mentioned outright, except in a couple of places, but if you do some rounding, you get about 400 years in several locations. For example, the period from, Joseph, who was the son of Jacob, who came to Egypt and became almost a prince of Egypt, and then his brothers came, and they stayed there. And they stayed in Egypt for 400 years until Moses led them out. And during that time, they went from honored guests and officials and wonderful people to slaves of the Egyptians. So that was a tough 400 years. Then, there's also a time, if you measure, between Abraham and David is around 400 years or so, depending on which historians you talk to. From David until the time that the temple was completely destroyed by the Babylonians, around 400 years or so. The time from when the people were allowed to come back from Babylon until King Herod started building the second temple, around 400 years. And then here's the one that gets the most notice. The time from the last Old Testament prophet, Malachi, until the first New Testament prophet, John the Baptist. Guess what number? 400 years. Now, of course, God's time is not our time, and God's ways are not our ways. So for us to put our numbers and our limits, you might say, on what God does is foolish. It's just plain foolish. But for those of us that study the Bible and look for interesting little things, I think the number 400 is an interesting number, don't you? Check it out. Amen.